Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, a Mad Tiger. And up here today, guys, I thought I'd do another 10 list. And today I'm going to be talking about 10 bad games for the PlayStation 2. Now, it's no surprise that there are bad games for the PlayStation 2. I mean, there are bad games for, well, pretty much every console has at least a few bad games, right? But the PlayStation 2 kind of coincides with the Wii a little bit, in the sense that because it was such a good selling console, everyone wanted to make their games for the PlayStation 2. Like the Wii, you know, it was filled with shovelware. Now the PlayStation 2 had a bit more variety, where the Wii just had a ton of shovelware that's just shitty party games and, you know, stuff like that. But the PlayStation 2 definitely has a lot of bad games too, and this is only 10. I've got about 1,000 PS2 games, and I could go through all of them. So this we might see more videos like this in the future, but I found 10 PlayStation 2 games that I consider to be quite bad, terrible. Some of these might be controversial, whether or not they consider to be bad. I mean, there's maybe one in here that I'd consider to be, it's a bad game, but it could be down to personal preference. But like I said, these are games that are just terrible games, and in my opinion, should not be played. First up, we're starting with Countryside Bears. Now, this was made by the company Phoenix, and just because that word Phoenix should be a bit of an idea as to what we're going to see here. Phoenix were budget-making titles, and 90% of their games were terrible or worse. Bad or terrible. I mean, there were a few that had some decent gameplay to it, but I don't have those. Countryside Bears is part of what I like to call a bit of a series, basically. And I wouldn't even call these games. They're more like activity centers. So on these games, they basically take what looked like a cutesy Disney-esque cartoon, and what you get on here are the bare basics of a game. And the fact that it comes with a manual, it's like, really, does it really need one? All it has on here is a colouring book, a sort of match 2 game, a jigsaw, and like one of them slider puzzle games. But what these are notorious for are the awful animations on here. Not only do they look awful, they sound awful. And there's a bunch of these. There's like Lions football game. I've got a few more somewhere. But these games are just awful. They kind of remind me, if you watch that, you know, the AVGN episode where there's the Bible games and he talks about the CDI ones, how each one is the same thing, but the only difference is the mini game and the animation. That's pretty much what you get here. These are awful games. I don't know who they were marketing these for. I mean, the only reason you'd own one of these games is to, well, for me, completionist, but also it's kind of interesting to just see how bad the animations are. And I don't know, man, like, if you were a kid and you seen this in the store, would you want this game? I don't know what they were going for, but these are awful. And much like that, we also have the Clever Kids series. This was made by Gameaholics, and this is Clever Kids Pony World. Now, there are a ton of horse games out there, and you'll probably see some of those come in the future, but this is something else. Again, all of this is part of the Clever Kids. Now, Clever Kids, again, was sort of like an edutainment. At least this is trying to be educational to some extent. And I say that very lightly, whereas these ones are not educational in any sense at all. It's pretty much the same thing. It's puzzles, looking after your horse, point and click. The only thing is, I will say, is that they don't have the awful animations. But the Clever Kids series is another example. Just educational games have been around for a long time, and unfortunately, Well, the good news is we don't really get much educational games nowadays. But educational games now at least try to be a game with some educational elements to it, which is fine. You know, companies are like, well, if we're going to try and give some kids education, let's at least make a game that's enjoyable so that they play it, and then throw in some facts and things here and there. But Clever Kids, Countryside Bears, these sort of games are notoriously bad, and I couldn't recommend them to anyone, even your kids. Next week I'm on to Crazy Golf World Tour. Oh boy. You know, it's funny because Crazy Golf games were very popular on YouTube for a while. It seemed like everyone was playing like Golf with Friends and all of this stuff. But Crazy Golf World Tour is awful. I don't even know who made this. Oxygen? Yeah, Oxygen. And this game is notoriously bad. First of all, you got the character standing there, which is really annoying. But then, this game is so awful because the way you control the power is you sort of move the analog stick back and forward, which is very common with golf games. But in this game, it just doesn't work. It is so bad. Like, the amount of times you try and hit it really gently and then you end up going really hard. Actually, I can't remember if it used that or not. That's how bad it was. And what makes me laugh is the fact that they try so hard to actually make this look of Liquid games. All the colourful characters, devious courses, unite and exciting gameplay. That is a lie. And also the graphics for the characters on this game are just awful. Just look at that. Look. How could you not? Why is it's so bad? Crazy Golf World Tour is just a bad attempt. I mean, golf games are a kind of thing. I love Crazy Golf in real life. I cannot recommend this one. Yes, Blast. Blast Entertainment is a name notorious with us PS2 collectors. Beverly Hills Cop. Let's take a decent movie and let's make a video game based on it. And do you want to know why this doesn't work? Do you want to know why this game doesn't work at all? Because it has as much to do with Beverly Hills Cop as you'd think. It's got more to do with Beverly Hills Cop movie than The Sun gives away cold air. None. There's none. There's not. That was a bad analogy. Sorry, I haven't had much sleep, as you can probably tell. But this game is notorious. First of all, it says, join Axel Foley as he makes his long-awaited return. That's a lie. Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy is not in this game. Heck, I don't even know if Eddie Murphy knows that was there as a game based on his movies. I know they weren't his movies and he doesn't really get to choose what game things can be made. But, you know, I mean, they got the licensing for Eddie Murphy in the Shrek games. But this game is just awful. The graphics are terrible. It's a first-person shooter. The stealth elements in this game are non-existent, even though it tries to use the stealth element. The enemies in this game are notoriously bad. It takes about 20 bullets to kill a single enemy, and they don't flinch when you're hitting them. So it acts like you don't even know if you're hurting the enemy. And it says on here, use talking to get out your tight spots, just like Axel. That would be pretty cool if it was fucking true, because it's not true. This game is like, oh yeah, you can talk your way out of it, because that's one of the most memorable things from the movie is Axel Foley is very comedic and very talkative and charismatic, and he relies more on using his charisma and his charm to get his way rather than, you know, guns blazing. In fact, in all of the Beverly Hills Cop movies, and I do have all of them, and I can prove it. You know, I have seen all of the movies, and I have all of the movies. I do want to upgrade these to Blu-ray, but that's a different story. But, you know, look at that. Look at Eddie Murphy. How can you say no to that face? He is an amazing actor. I love Eddie Murphy. But these movies are notoriously funny, you know. But, you know, there is action in these movies, but only in certain sequences, you know. Towards the end of the movie, there's a few little action sequences here and there. But, you know, what made these movies so good is it isn't your traditional guns-blazing cop movie. It's a comedy. It's a cop that relies more on, you know, being, you know, funny and trying to get his way around it. And this game says you can do that, but it's completely and utterly wrong. Eddie Murphy, you know, you might be happy that you weren't in this game. And to be honest, I don't blame him. I don't even know if he knows that there's a game based on his movies. Who knows? Next, we have Batman Vengeance. And you might be thinking, how dare you sit here and hate on Batman, right? I mean, Batman's awesome. He is. Batman has had some amazing games. The NES Batman games, the Arkham Batman games. There were a few good beat-em-up Batman games, like the Adventures of Batman and Robin. But Batman Vengeance is, in my opinion, one of the... see, this is where there might be a bit of controversy, because I consider this a bad game. But not in the way that you think. The only problem I have with this game is the fact that it doesn't truly know what it wants to be. It's trying to be a bit of everything. And I've only really played the first couple of missions, so maybe I'm being a bit biased on this one. But that's as far as I got when I played it. I have to replay it and see if I get further. But this game tries to be a stealth game. It tries to be an action beat-em-up. I don't remember it being that fun either. I got to a part in the game where you have to jump across this building and land on another building. But it never worked. I tried it about 10 times and it never worked. Maybe I was doing something wrong. I don't know. But I'm sure that was what I had to do. And it just didn't work. You know, this game's trying to be stealth. It's trying to be beat 'em up. But unfortunately, when there's games that are trying to be so many things at once, often they can go, oh, we're going to try so many things at once. And then actually realise they're not actually putting any effort into all of those things. I'd rather have a game that's straight up beat 'em up and be fun than a game that's got loads of different variety to it, but none of those things have any control or quality to them. You know, sometimes quantity over quality isn't necessarily the greatest thing, and this is coming from someone who has 1,000 PS2 games. But, you know, I mean, there are some cool things. It has some cinematics from the new animated Batman show, but unfortunately, in a sea of Batman games, Batman Vengeance isn't that great. And sorry I'm not going into too many detail with some of these games. The main reason is because I've only played them for a little bit and I couldn't get further with them or gave them... It's because I think they're terrible. Casino Challenge. I mean, what is there to be said about a casino game? Casino games are like panhandling to the most... Like, honestly, if you're a gambler, are you really going to go out and spend money on a gambling themed video game? I get that maybe you like, I don't want to spend real money, but I enjoy gambling. I go out and rather go out and pay 10, 15, 20 quid for a gambling video game. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm an avid gambler. I do some slots online every so often. But honestly, I'd rather go on a slot and lose £20 than pay... I mean, I paid 50p for this game, but I don't know how much it was going for when it first came out. I'd imagine about that much. But this game is notoriously bad. And you might be thinking, how can you mess up a gambling game? It's the bare basics of a game. First of all, the graphics are terrible. And how can you mess up the graphics? Well, the little characters you can choose look creepy as hell. They are just ugly and disturbing. Like, honestly, it's so stupid. This game literally is called Casino Challenge and it has 4 Yes, only 4 things you can do in it. It has blackjack, roulette, slots, and horse racing. And the horse racing is kind of funny, but it uses the same stock footage every single time, and it's just so boring. You know, and one thing I noticed with this game, you lose your money in this game faster than you would in real life, in an actual casino. I played this for about 10 minutes and lost all my money, and I did everything the game had to offer. It's notoriously hard for it. I mean, I know casinos are all based on luck, but I mean, there is some winning. You get, you know, sometimes you do get a bit of good luck, but in this game, it just seems like you lose everything within a few seconds of playing it. I could not recommend this one at all. Next, we have Pimp My Ride. Yeah, do you remember that awesome show with Exhibit? You know, where he take shitty cars and pimp them out and make them look awesome. That seemed like a cool idea for a game, right? You know, getting old cars and customizing them. You know that's not what's going to happen in this game. No, what you get in this game is a terrible arcade semi-open world game where you'll never believe this. This is how you upgrade the cars in this game. You drive around and you do little quick time event challenges like dancing outside your car. You know, riding the whip, ghost riding the whip as they call it. That's how you upgrade your cars. And there's also, you know, checkpoints and things and picking up items. That's how you upgrade the cars. You don't get to choose how the car looks upgraded. You know, making a game about making a game about pimping out cars, customizing cars, seems like an awesome idea. I mean, it worked in the Need for Speed games, right? And the, you know, other games like Juiced and all that. Why not just take a, you know, you could have made a game that was just focused on that. People bringing old cars and you just customize them and then you basically get ratings on it. That would have been awesome, you know. That would have been a much better game. But unfortunately, MTV's Pimp My Ride is terrible. And it was made by Activision. This wasn't made by Play It or, you know, Liquid or Blast. This was made by Activision. The same company that has brought us heavy hitters like Call of Duty, Overwatch. You know, some of the, the Tony Hawk games that are notoriously well known. And some of them even really good. You know, I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan, but I admit they're good games. This, on the other hand, Activision, if you're going to bring back a series, fix this one. And they did actually do another one, but that was just a street racing game. But at least they were honest about it, you know, made it a street racing game, you know. Next, we have Snowboard Racer 2. Now, I didn't even know there was a Snowboard Racer 1. What did it come out on? I don't know. I think it was PlayStation 1 or Dreamcast. I get the feeling like it was on Dreamcast. I don't know why. But Snowboard Racer 2 is, in my opinion, just an awful attempt at making a snowboarding game. This game, I want to start by saying that just because it's a snowboarding game doesn't mean every little thing has to be white. I mean, look at the SSX games. They're snowboarding games, but they have a lot of colour to it. This game is just white. Everything is white. The only colour you really see is the characters and then the occasional bit of cape. This game is so bad. Like, first of all, it's boring as hell. You know, you think a game about, you know, going down the hill on snowboards, you know, sounds like a fun idea, right? It worked for SSX and even the AMP games, for example. But Snowboard Racer 2 is notoriously bad. I felt like this game was... I wouldn't really say it was a bad game. It was just boring. There was nothing to it. There was no oomph behind it, you know. It's like they decided to... And, you know, they tried to make it into a racing game. And there's half-pipe mode. But it's so boring. I could not get into this game at all. I would recommend SSX over Snowboard Racer any day. If you want to give it a go, try it out. But like I said, your eyes are going to be hurting just by how white it is. I get this snowboarding game, mountains, but you can put some colour into it. I mean, even, like I said, SSX had so much colour to it, right? Next, we have Smash Cards. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. This game was awful. Now, RC racing games can be handled very delicately because RC cars handle very different. One of the best RC racing games on PlayStation to date. Now, that's a lie right there. This game, you want to know the best RC racing game on PS2? RC Revenge Pro. Now, that is a sick game. That is much better than this. Honestly, I could not get into this game. I only did the tutorial and I couldn't get past the tutorial. The controls in this game are so bad. Like, I know they're RC cards, but there's a part in the game where the tutorial is like, oh, you've got to jump onto the bench. And it just didn't work. Your car just fell over and your time limit. And I don't know, man. This is just so stupid. It's so dumb. It seemed like it's going to be a fun game. And even the pictures on the back. I don't know where you can see that. But even the pictures on the back are really low res. I mean, yeah, Snowboard Racer's got low res pictures. I mean, fucking Pimp My Ride has some pretty decent high res pictures on there, you know. Even some of the worst games on here, the pictures are, you know, even fucking, they're just so bad. Like, come on. OPM the best RC racing PS to date. I think that's a lie. Whoever wrote that is so dumb. Sorry I haven't really gone into much detail with some of these. I just wanted to share some ones. I'd recommend that you maybe play these games and try them out yourself, but I don't want you wasting your money. But they're cheap games, so. And last but not least, definitely least, I'd say, is another beautiful Phoenix game, and that is Extreme Quad. Oh my god, this game was awful. Quad bike games are, you know, overabundance of them. Just look how many MTV racing games there are. This one is so bad. The controls in this game, your car controls, like, you literally tap the button and your bike will go whoom, like that. That is not how quad bikes work. I know quad bikes handle differently to a car does, but yeah, literally. And then there's a part in the game where there's a rock. I hit a rock and my bike just stopped mid-track. I didn't even touch it. I skimmed it and my bike's, the hit detection is off. The graphics are pretty bad. The gameplay is boring. Phoenix Extreme Quads. Do not check this one out. So yeah, I haven't really gone into much detail, but I've covered 10 bad PlayStation 2 games. And like I said, the only one on here that I would say that isn't, it could be maybe deserves another try, and that's Batman Vengeance. But like I said, I played that many years ago, so I'll have to give it another try. But these 10 games are terrible PS2 games. Do not play them. Sorry I haven't gone into more detail. Like I said, I didn't get much sleep last night and I was up early today, so. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to play some more Mafia Definitive Edition in a bit. I think I'm near the end, so hopefully I can get that beat. I've got a day off tomorrow. My partner's taking my son to mates and they're having a sleepover. So, yay! Free house. Hopefully I'll get some more sleep tonight. And we will have another vlog video tomorrow. I'm probably going to do a vlog video tomorrow. Got some things I want to share. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like. And, of course, let me know in the comments below, have you played any of these games? Let me know some PS2 games that you think are pretty bad. Do you have any personal favourite bad games? You know, bad games are not like bad movies. I can watch a bad movie and still enjoy it. A bad game, I watch and I hate it. It just makes me pissed off. I can watch a bad movie and still get a cheap laugh or two from it. Video games, not so much. For a video, maybe. But anyway, guys, as always, follow me on, subscribe if you haven't already. 2 more, we need 2 more, and then the competition's out, ready for you guys. And as always, follow me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and eBay store, all on my channel. I did do a stream yesterday of some Overwatch if you want to check it out. Didn't really have a much too great of a night with it, but still, it's there if you want to check it out. And as always, guys, have a nice day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, and bye-bye.